in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you'll see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Haley Reese, and oh boy, I am over the moon excited about today's video because rather than paranormal, I'm switching it up a little bit and going more conspiracy. We're going to be talking about the Bermuda Triangle. I've wanted to talk about this for the longest time. The Bermuda Triangle in itself has fascinated me for so long, and I know it's mostly because I love investigating or reading up on things that are a complete mystery. And this most definitely covers that in more ways than I could even imagine. So definitely make sure that you guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think is going on with the Bermuda Triangle. Hear out all of the different potential theories, and let's talk about it because we're about to talk about some pretty crazy stuff, and I'm gonna need to hear from you guys what you think of it all. Before we get into the video though, regarding a few comments that I've been receiving as far as Reesemas goes this year, I definitely do want to hear all of your guys' unbelievable experiences or stories. If you're somebody who has psychic abilities or premonitions, you live in a haunted house, you speak to the dead, maybe you're telepathic or you can astral project, do you remember a past life, anything like that that you are or have experienced or are experiencing that is truly unbelievable, I have created a separate email from the one that I already have for you guys, which is where you guys send all of your comments and questions and stories and all of that. And I will have it linked at the very top of my description. So if you fit into any of those categories that I just told you guys, make sure you go ahead and send me an email letting me know. When you send the email, just put the subject as kind of a little bit of what it is and where you live. So it could be, I talk to ghosts, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, kind of like that. And send it on over to me because I can't wait to read all of your unbelievable experiences and to hear from all of you guys who are just completely unbelievable and share your stories. But without further ado, let's just dive right on into the Bermuda Triangle because there's a lot that I need to cover and I feel like this video is going to be a long one. So the area referred to as Bermuda Triangle or the Devil's Triangle covers between 500,000 to 1,000,000 square miles of ocean. It's known as a patch of ocean that has supposedly been the cause for the disappearance of many boats and aircrafts. The Bermuda Triangle has remained a massive mystery to both regular people, but even scientists for years and years and years. The Bermuda Triangle refers to an area of the North Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda to the north, Puerto Rico to the south, and Florida to the west. It's claimed that an average of 4 planes and 20 boats disappear within the Bermuda Triangle a year, leaving no trace behind, no debris, no explanation, and sometimes not even a warning call or a SOS for help. We're talking extensive searches have been held out and nothing has ever left a trace behind. So the Bermuda Triangle dates way back. In 1492, Christopher Columbus entered the Bermuda Triangle and reported seeing strange lights and talked about how his compass was completely malfunctioning and giving totally wrong readings, which as you guys continue throughout this video, you'll hear that's really common with the Bermuda Triangle. Oftentimes compasses completely malfunction while in this specific area. As he sailed through the area on his first voyage to the New World, he even reported seeing a great flame of fire crashing into the sea, which many believe was probably a meteor, but it kind of plays into different theories that we'll talk about in just a little bit. And he even said that strange lights were continuously appearing in that specific area. Incidences of disappearances have been taking place since the 1600s and continue to take place even today. So today we're going to explore the Bermuda Triangle, we're going to explore different cases, and then we're going to explore possible explanations as to what on earth could be going on there. So if I tried to sit here and talk about every single instance as far as where the Bermuda Triangle is concerned, we would be here for weeks. Like, when you guys finish this video, definitely go on over to the internet. Well, you're on the internet. Oh my gosh. You're on the internet. Definitely click on over and check out some different stories because there are so many. I'm only going to be covering a few of the most popular and the most baffling, but there are just so many. So in March 1918, the USS Cyclops, which is one of the Navy's biggest fuel ships, set out from Brazil to Baltimore, carrying 309 passengers and needing to travel through the Bermuda Triangle to reach their destination. Now, they set out on clear skies on a great day. Any of the messages or correspondences from this specific ship to land were all completely normal. There was no indication that there was anything malfunctioning or anything going wrong. Then, out of nowhere, while crossing through the Bermuda Triangle, the ship was just never heard from again. No SOS calls, nothing. The USS Cyclops captain never sent out any form of a distress call. They never reached out to any of the surrounding ships, nothing, and then all of a sudden, the ship just disappears without a trace. They searched, and they didn't find a single piece of evidence indicating where the ship may have gone, what may have occurred, and where the 309 passengers on it are. Like, this is one of the Navy's biggest fuel ships. They didn't send an SOS, they went to travel through the Bermuda Triangle, and they just disappeared without a trace. How does one of the Navy's biggest fuel ships carrying 309 passengers just disappear without any debris or anything left behind? Well, that will be a reoccurring theme with the Bermuda Triangle. At 2:10 p.m. on December 5th, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers took off from the Naval Air Station in Fort Lauderdale. These planes were collectively known as Flight 19. So on December 5th, 1945, Flight 19 headed out on a routine mission. The flight's leader was Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor. Now, Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor was a very experienced pilot, and on top of that, he was a veteran of several combat missions in World War II. So he had an outstanding amount of experience. There were 14 men who headed out, including Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor. However, the 13 other men were trainees. So they were all in training, and he was the leader of the 13 men. At around 3:30 p.m., Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor sent out a message to the control center claiming that his compass was completely malfunctioning, but that he believed he was somewhere over top of the Florida Keys. An instruction was given from the tower to turn north towards Miami, but only if he was completely certain that he was over top of Florida Keys. However, unfortunately, where he thought he was completely wrong. At 3:45 p.m., Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor's voice was heard again, saying that he couldn't see any land. Then the voice of a trainee came through telling them that if they turned west and continued going straight, they would eventually find their way home. However, it said that Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor was very stubborn and decided not to, which is really unfortunate and super sad because had he have done that, they would have found their way home. At 4:45, it became very clear that he was just completely lost, so he was asked to hand controls over to a trainee, although it's believed that he never did that. He was reported saying everything looks strange, even the ocean. Now, at this point, the communication was very poor, their fuel was running low, and the last thing that they heard from Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor was that they were waiting until one of their fuels went too low, and then they were all gonna go down together. What's crazy about this is they never found a single trace of any of them. Not the planes, not the bodies, not any debris, nothing. But where it gets even more chilling, you guys, is that they had sent 2 planes out to look for them, and only one of them returned. The second one was never found either, and not a single trace was ever found of it, which is just so wild to me and so heartbreaking. Now, on January 30th, 1948, a British South American Airways plane flying from England to Bermuda disappeared without a trace. The Star Tiger, commanded by Captain B.W. McMillan, had been flying from England to Bermuda. Now, on January 30th, Captain B.W. McMillan reported that he would arrive at 5 a.m. to Bermuda, which was not far away at all from the time he reported it. But neither he nor any of the 31 passengers made it to Bermuda, and not a single trace of them was ever found. There was also no SOS, there was no call for help, there was no explanation considering he was due to arrive very shortly. On December 22nd, 1967, a cabin cruiser named Witchcraft left from Miami with Daniel Burke and his friend, Father Patrick Horgan. The two were on the 23-foot luxury yacht to go out to sea to see the Miami Christmas lights, which were just so beautiful, and they were so excited to see them. Now, after just reaching 1 mile offshore, the Coast Guard received a call from the captain stating that his boat had hit something, but there was no substantial damage and he required a tow back to shore. He was completely calm and completely collected. The Coast Guard headed out and reached the area in which he'd called from within 19 minutes. By the time he arrived there, which like I just said was 19 minutes after the call, which was completely calm, where he stated there was no substantial damage, there was not a single trace of the boat and not a single trace that the boat had even been there. Now, what's crazy about this is this specific yacht was, in a sense, unsinkable. It had a flotation device built within the bottom of it, where even if it was completely submerged in water, a part of it would still be floating above. On top of that, there were plenty of life-saving devices, life jackets, flares, distress signals, all of that on board. So it didn't make sense how within 19 minutes and no distress signals done, no flotation devices in sight, nothing, the boat just disappeared. They searched miles upon miles of ocean looking for any trace of this boat, and to this day, they've never found any debris, they've never found any trace, and they have no idea what happened to them within 19 minutes of that phone call. And that just gave me chills. Like, that's so crazy. There are many reports of people while within the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle, which is a massive vicinity, but while within the vicinity of it, experiencing something they call an electronic fog, where everything around them gets foggy and they either lose track of or gain a substantial amount of time while everything was foggy around them. In 1970, flight instructor Bruce Gernon claimed the plane he was flying through the Bermuda Triangle got surrounded by a foggy haze and his compasses completely stopped working. He flew with no visuals and no direction for 3 minutes when his radio informed him he was flying over top of Miami. When he looked down at his watch, 40 minutes had passed, but he had traveled a distance compared to 90 minutes. So none of it made sense. He felt like he was flying for just minutes. 40 minutes had passed, but the distance he traveled was equivalent to 90 minutes of travel, which is really, really strange. So what are the possible theories as far as what the Bermuda Triangle could be and why these strange phenomena occur? One theory is giant waves and stormy conditions. Scientists actually believe that this specific area in the ocean is a great hotspot for massive rogue waves. They've even used simulators to demonstrate how these waves would affect ships going through them and to demonstrate how it would sink a ship. Overall, they think it's just an area where unexpected storms could occur. So if you're flying through it or your ship's going through it, a storm could come out of nowhere, completely unforeseen, and sink your ship or crash your plane. They also say that this area of the ocean is filled with trenches where if a ship were to sink or a plane were to sink to the bottom, there's plenty of areas for them to hide within these trenches where we would never ever see them again or find a trace of them. Others believe these disappearances have to do with the lost city of Atlantis. Some believe that the Bermuda Triangle was the location of the mythical lost city of Atlantis, while others argue it's the powers from the lost city of Atlantis down below that intervene and interfere with and mess with the planes and ships above, therefore sinking them down towards it. Some even think that those who are missing actually reside in Atlantis now. Another theory is that it's a magnetic phenomenon. The Bermuda Triangle is a place where the true north and the magnetic north line up, which could be a big cause as far as why compasses stop working entirely. Now, one of my personal favorite theories to explore is that it's due to UFOs and aliens and a potential underwater Area 51. Many people believe that aliens utilize the Bermuda Triangle as a portal to travel to and from our planet. Other people believe it's an area where they capture people, planes, and ships to conduct research. What I will say about this that's a little bit interesting to put into perspective is the electronic fog that people experience. When you look at alien abductions or cases of UFOs, a lot of times people will lose track of time or gain time, or hours will have passed when it felt like minutes, etc. So that does kind of line up with the theory of aliens, but I'm neither for nor against it. I will say though, in October of 2014, passengers on a Carnival cruise ship claimed to have saw UFOs in the sky. They even claim to have seen them in the daylight. Others believe it's just due to the fact that it's an incredibly high trafficked area. There are so many ships and so many planes flying and sailing through this area daily, a lot of them getting through without anything wrong happening or anything going wrong whatsoever. So a lot of people blame it on the fact that it's a high traffic area, human error, or bad weather. They don't think it's anything more than one of those things, if not all of those things, and that there's no real mystery with the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, there's no evidence to support that more people, planes, or ships go missing in this area than other areas across the world, but it's just strange that they never find any trace of them. Now, I personally don't know what I think of the Bermuda Triangle, but what I will say is that I do find it very strange that there's never been traces or debris found or any evidence as to what could have occurred. And if it was unforeseen stormy weather, don't you think that there would be SOSs put out or calls for help or things like that? Or maybe the storms really do just come on so quick that they don't even have a chance to. But I don't know. I feel like there's something fishy going on here. What it is, I don't know for certain, but I do think it's something interesting to follow, and hopefully before I die, we can figure out some sort of an answer or cause as to what's been occurring in the Bermuda Triangle. What do you guys think is going on in the Bermuda Triangle? Do you think it's no more than a coincidence or human error or a storm or just the fact that it's a high traffic area? Or do you think there's a lost city of Atlantis, UFOs, or some sort of magnetic craziness going on there? Make sure you go ahead and drop your comments down below letting me know what you guys think of this, because I want to be reading through all of your comments since I have no idea what to make of this or what to think of this. But that is it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos, so I don't want you to miss when I do upload. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It makes my heart super, super happy when you guys do that, so please do that. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.